what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Footcandle Films. Film news and reviews from two guys who really like movies.
This episode is brought to you by the Footcandle Film Society. For a schedule of upcoming screenings and membership information, visit the Society's website at www.footcandle.org.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Footcandle Films here on the Mesh.tv podcast network. My name is Alan Jackson. With me is Chris Fry. We are with the Footcandle Film Society, the annual Footcandle Film Festival, and this here podcast called Footcandle Films. So, Chris, how's it going? How's your weekend? Ready to talk some movies?
Yeah, but kind of a maybe what we would call a big deal movie. I think it's Steven Spielberg, Disclosure Day. I mean, the guy, when he's an event filmmaker. When one of his films comes out, you know, if you have the slightest interest in movies, you want to go see it. You want to see it in the theater. Yeah. So,
I mean, like how the entire world was raptured for the BFG when that came out. I remember that weekend. That was ginormous.
Well, okay.
He has had a couple that maybe
Sure.
didn't hit as big. But
Sure.
yes, you're right.
No, I think you're okay.
How about a Spielberg sci-fi film in big kind of...
So important
yes.
distinction there. No, this isn't just a Spielberg film.
Right.
This is returning to a ground that he's familiar with. You know, people are more inclined to go see it when he does this type
But
of
he's
film.
playing a little more in his original wheelhouse, or
Sure.
what he's kind of known for, yeah. Well, that will be the film we're reviewing today. It is Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day, starring Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor, and also with Colin Firth. We'll be discussing that film here in just a moment and giving you our thoughts and opinions on that. But we also have some trailers we're going to get into after that review. We like to show movie trailers from time to time. Yes, it does spoil us a little bit on the movie, but it's the best way we have to kind of get some idea of what the movie may be in store for us later in the year. So we're going to watch a couple trailers of some new films coming out in the next few months, get some thoughts on those. And then, Chris, I forgot to ask, but do you have a recommendation for us this week?
I do.
Oh, okay, good. Then you're great. We have Chris's recommendation, almost fail-safe every single week. There have been a few weeks,
Almost.
a couple times, you know. A couple times Chris was busy, couldn't quite squeeze in one more recommendation that week. But for the most part, Chris's recommendations are a mainstay on the show. So we're going to have that by the end of the episode as well. So you need to stay tuned and listen to that. But Chris, are we ready to jump into our review of Disclosure Day?
Let's do it.
All right.
If you found out we weren't alone, if someone showed you, proved it to you, would that frighten you?
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at today. Today's.
Disclosure Day has the tagline of, if you found out we weren't alone, if someone showed you, proved it to you, would that frighten you? From that, you can guess that the film has director Steven Spielberg returning to the well of sci-fi cinema, a well which has given us beloved films such as Close Encounters of the Third Kind, E.T., Jurassic Park, AI, Minority Report, War of the Worlds, and I guess one of those more recent ones, which had varying degrees with different people, Ready Player One. Give a brief, I guess, kind of vague synopsis of the film, or just kind of, outline so we can get down to talking about it. As well as I'll give you some of the character names as well as who plays them, because a lot of people, a lot of characters running around in this film. So basically, the film has Emily Blunt as Margaret Fairchild and Josh O'Connor as Dr. Daniel Kellner. These are two of the more key people, I guess, in the film. And then they let's start with Kellner. He has worked for, I can't even remember the kind of acronym, but basically kind of a government agency, okay? Running this government agency is Colin Firth as Noah Scanlon. And Coleman Domingo as Hugo Wakefield did work for this government agency before he decided to split off because he disagreed with some of the motives. Splitting off with him is also Josh O'Connor.
You're doing great so far, by the way. So this is good. You're doing great.
Through the events of the film, Dr. Kellner and Margaret Fairchild end up uniting because they share an experience, or the aliens, they have a bond with the aliens, let's say, and that is what the government is trying to cover up. So it's all about government. This is all about basically, essentially, government covering up aliens having been on Earth and the disagreements about why they're doing so. And most obviously from the title, Disclosure Day, what does Dr. Kellner, Daniel Kellner, want to do? He wants to disclose this evidence to the world. And so that is more or less kind of the idea behind the film.
I think you did a wonderful summary of it. So
it's a lot. I mean, the film is, your given length of films nowadays, it is over 2 hours, 2 hours and 25 minutes. Mm-hmm. So Alan, I happen to know, I think you probably mentioned it before on the podcast, Steven Spielberg, you're a fan of his. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, you're a fan of that film as well.
Absolutely.
It was the first
Top
film
5
that we showed when we originally formed the Film Society that this podcast spun off from. Mm-hmm. It was, we showed Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So what did you make of Mr. Spielberg's return to the sci-fi genre and this tale of aliens being on Earth?
It was fine.
Okay.
It was fine. Look, it's good.
Okay.
It's good. It's definitely not great. And I think I know the reason in my mind why I don't feel like it's great.
Okay.
Because it has so many of the right elements to make a great Spielberg sci-fi film. And I did notice in the credits that Spielberg has story credit.
Yes.
Somebody else, David Kopp, came in and helped do the screenplay.
Yes.
But I don't remember Spielberg always having story credits on his films, which is cool. This is a little unique, I think.
Okay.
So that means basically, Spielberg had the idea and he kind of had the formation of what this film was. I'm wondering if Spielberg's original story idea for this might have been the film I wanted to see. And I get the feeling that this is a film that got bloated and added on a lot of unnecessary elements that I think distracted from the film for me.
Okay.
I will just say you gave the whole kind of plot synopsis.
Right.
And there's actually more things going on in the film than even the plot synopsis you just described.
I didn't mention any of the action set pieces.
Well, there's that, that's one thing. But,
sure.
there are uses of, I guess I'm going to say, powers, devices that have certain abilities. There's just all this extra things added onto this that I think made it less of a Spielberg film for me and made it trying to just be as big a spectacle movie as it possibly can. But I actually think it was distracting. I think it took it away. What Spielberg does best when he works in the sci-fi genre is when he can put real human beings that you can relate to it. And with Emily Blunt's character, Margaret Fairchild, we're really close. I mean, she's a very relatable character. I loved all the scenes of her and her boyfriend, played by Wyatt Russell. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of great energy there and a lot of great relationship kind of exploration of people. It was really good. But yet there's a whole nother layer of things added onto her character that I'm just like, okay, I think this film could have worked without those extra layers of things. And I'm being very broad in my discussion because
sure.
I don't want to get too nitpicky on the details of the film, but just say Emily Blunt's character, Margaret, has an ability that I think works really cool in the essence of showing some really interesting scenes with it. But ultimately, it just bogs the movie down and gets it further away from the core story. To me, this is a film that's like, all right, take people on the run from the government trying to get something to someone or to somewhere to have this Disclosure Day event. And then the Disclosure Day event becomes the culmination. And that's at the core what this film is. But then you add all these other layers of things going on top of it. It really pulls you out, or at least it did for me, pulls me out of that core story. That's why I say I think I'd be really curious to see if Spielberg's original story idea was just, here's people that have evidence of alien presence in the United States and government cover-ups, and we're going to follow them as they're being chased down, as they're trying to race to get it disclosed to the public. That's a really good movie and story. It didn't need, in my mind, all this other piled on top of it. So that's where I am with it. I did enjoy it. I think there's a lot of things weighted onto the film that kept it, from my mind, of being a great Spielberg sci-fi, or just a great film in general. So, all right. I've rattled off. Chris, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What did you think of Disclosure Day?
So I liked the film. Sounds like I think I'm maybe higher on it than you seem like you maybe are. But I will agree, there's a lot. I tried not to, because I try not to spoil things and giving the rundown, but I wanted to give people kind of an overview. But there is a lot. And I think for me, at times it was a little overwhelming and maybe a little grating. I was like, okay, you're covering a lot of ground here. However, what really saved it, like really just kind of, I thought it was masterful. The entire film, obviously you get to the last scene and actually the last words that are spoken and then the cut to black. Mm-hmm. That was like,
yep.
Wow.
I agree.
That was great. So, and actually because of the way the cut to black happened, you're expecting maybe a bigger moment or a bigger reveal or more of a disclosure, let's say. Mm-hmm. And it just leaves it kind of leaves it there. And I thought, okay. And the choice if it had been a little bit more expansive in what's going to happen on the Disclosure Day, I think I would have kind of shrugged and been like, okay. But I just thought that was really masterful. And I will say, I think this comes from, if I had maybe a disappointment while watching the film, and then like maybe immediately after, I love sci-fi. I love aliens. But what I really like is getting to see the aliens and getting to like learn a little bit about them, or, it's just something more than just like they're in the background. And for me, I was kind of frustrated maybe, originally, because I wanted this to be more of like an alien movie or something. But I realized, sitting with it, that's not what this film really is. It's more about us as the human race, more about the people that are on the earth, about how we interact with each other, as opposed to really being a sci-fi film. So I think if you're going into the film wanting kind of what I was wanting, because like, oh, Steven Spielberg, aliens, although I guess technically War of the Worlds was maybe more of that. Close Encounters, very similar, where like they are very much in the background. So
if you think about it, Chris, I mean, this structure-wise, this is Close Encounters.
Well, yeah.
I mean, two people kind of both drawn to an experience with aliens,
right,
rushing to find proof of such aliens existing or sharing that proof or something. And then you get to the end and you've got, aliens. And it's like, so it's like, the structure is very, very similar.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's very similar. But I think because of where I am right now in 2026 and kind of things going on, I felt like this was very much a film for right now. Mm-hmm. One of the key takeaways, which brings to mind a scene that I really, really liked. And, it wasn't, there are a lot of action scenes. Those were okay. They're impressive or whatever. It was kind of like Close Encounters of the Mission Impossible kind. It's kind of how I felt like this. It was like mashing up those two kind of genre action film and like alien film. But there were three major moments that worked for me. I've already talked about one, like the ending, which I'm not going to spoil about like that. Prior to that, we have a meetup between Noah Scanlon, who's Colin Firth, and Hugo Wakefield, Coleman Domingo, and they have this kind of, I'll just say, confrontation conversation.
Yes.
I really liked that. And
Agreed.
I really needed that at the point in the film because it was just a bunch of running around and I needed a little bit more of like meat about kind of what was going on. And I was like, okay. And let me just say, the actors in this film, I feel like are really, really
Yes.
at the top of their game. Like Colin Firth,
All very
everybody
strong.
knows who he is. Coleman Domingo, everybody knew. But like, I think if there had been lesser people delivering those lines or in those scenes, I don't think I would have bought it as much. And Josh O'Connor, he's relatively, we've talked about him here on the show with like challengers and stuff. He's fresher on the scene than somebody like Emily Blunt, but still he's doing, I think he's great. And
So
Emily
good.
Blunt, like you already mentioned,
Emily
you
Blunt's
called her out.
amazing, I think.
Yeah, I think, and somebody, you know, she has moments of humor, but then she has moments of obviously drama and stuff.
She just seemed like a real character,
Yeah.
which is, I think, the key for this is that to be in such an extraordinary situation as a character, she still came across as such a real character,
Yeah.
coping with what it is she's experiencing and what it is she's going through. You mentioned, you said there were 3 scenes.
Yeah, I've got one more.
Yeah,
but
one more. What's the other one?
So the other scenes, but this is like kind of the standout. Margaret's unique rescue of Kellner from the baddies.
Yeah.
He is captured. She shows up and just what kind of transpires in that scene, which I could see some people saying, oh, it's cheesy, goofy, dumb, but I feel like, not having talked to Mr. Spielberg, he hasn't returned any of my calls. Kind of his reason for making this movie, kind of the, his maybe story
Right.
idea. It was like, no, I want to focus on today's world and empathy or lack thereof. and that scene and using that idea, I was like, okay, that is something very different that I have never seen before. And that actually comes back around in the final scene that we've kind of alluded to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there were script things that kept, which we've talked about some films that he's done. He did Presence with Steven Soderbergh. He did Black Bag, which I feel like sometimes when things got a little piled on to like too many things going on, too many plot threads or whatever, did kind of get a black bag government conspiracy thing going on, maybe that maybe diluted the alien part that I wanted going on or something. But it's still overall, it still works.
I think if this movie had just honed in on, the Emily Blunt, Margaret Fairchild character,
yes.
and the ability that she has, I'm okay with that because it led to so many good scenes. So I want that ability to be in the film.
Okay.
I don't really understand the rationale why we had to have Dr. Kellner, Josh O'Connor character, having any kind of ability, any kind of thing. To me, that was like a superfluous thing that's just like more piled onto this film. And then I'll tell you, I think I've nailed it down, Chris, what I didn't want in this film.
Okay.
The little doodad, the little alien doodad, the little, it's in the trailer.
The Wii
It's
remote.
Yeah, right. The Wii remote that makes anything happen. Like it just seemed like it was kind of a magic thing. It's like, oh, we need some cool set pieces. We need things to go invisible. We need to be able to have people talk to each other in different locations.
Right.
We need to. I'm like, oh, it pulled me out of what could have just been at its core a really good human drama, commenting on the role of empathy. Also calling on the role of responsibility of sharing knowledge and information with the world. There's great themes there, but
Sure.
then it's like, the whole doodad, the whole alien thing became such a critical thing in so many parts of the film that it's like, I don't really understand what it does. I mean, maybe we're not supposed to understand what it does, but it's like, it just seemed like a catch-all, like, oh, we need to get out of this situation. Okay. We just use this thing and boom, it does it. And it's like, it turned it more into not like a superhero, but like a bigger movie than what it needed to be. The big moment should have been when we get to the end And that should have been the culmination. And I will say, from the minute they arrive at I'll just say at the TV station, everything at that point on, I'm great with. I think it was really good. Like, that's what I wanted out of this movie. That should have been the culmination. We shouldn't have had.
So it still ended strong for you.
We shouldn't have had any other big, huge sci-fi effect scenes or events until we got to that part. And like, that's when the wonder comes in. That's when it's like, oh my gosh, they are explaining all this. But we've been watching for an hour and a half already. People holding a little glowing stick that makes things go invisible and makes things. And it's like, okay, well, you've already there's no sense of wonder anymore for me. It's like, this is no longer about humans dealing with this knowledge and information and what it means for how we treat each other as a civilization. It's becomes a big special effects spectacle movie. And that's where I feel like it just got weighted down and lost sight of what it could have been really, really strong with. And again, I don't want to keep referring back to Close Encounters because there's a little part of me that, like, when this film was announced, I'm like, okay, is he making like a pseudo sequel to Close Encounters? I kind of hope not. I wanted this to stand on its own. But the reason Close Encounters works so well is we don't have magical abilities that Ray Neary develops. I mean, the best he does is he's building statues of Devil's Tower. I mean, that's that he doesn't have artifacts that are giving him abilities and powers and things to kind of see. It's all the unknown that we're building with him, that we're trying to learn it as well. And then when we get to the end and we're just confronted with this huge spectacle, it's like, that's human emotions that we're facing. And I just felt like we lost what we could have had from this film by being piled on with so much other stuff. So anyway, overall, it's a good movie. It's just I'm going to review Spielberg's films with a little higher level of criticism than I might others because the guy's earned it. He has developed and made some of the best films ever made. I don't think he's made a bad film that I can think of. I will say I've never seen the BFG. I know I joked about it in the beginning. I never saw it.
It's a kid's movie.
You're right. But I can't think of a bad movie he's made.
Right.
I thought Jurassic Park: The Lost World, the sequel, was bordering on bad, but it never got bad. So yeah.
Okay.
So even that, he's got a great batting record. So I'm going to give him, but I do have a higher standard of what I think he's capable of doing, and I just felt like this just fell just a little short of being a really great Spielberg movie. So
okay.
Yeah. But let me call out some things. You've already mentioned some of the things that are good. I mean, again, I'll just say Emily Blunt, really, really strong. All the acting across the board, really good. I agree with you. The scenes between Noah, Colin Firth's character, and Hugo Coleman Domingo were all really good. I like their respective roles when they're just talking and when they're just exploring what this means and their different philosophies toward what they should be doing with this information and all that. That's fascinating. That's what this film is about, and that's what I wanted it to be focused on. I also liked Eve Hewson. We haven't mentioned. She plays Jane, who's kind of a partner of Dr. Kellner's.
Yeah.
But she's also a former nun, we find out early in the film, or had been in the monastery for something, not monastery, the convent for a short period of time.
Yeah.
And her conversations with Sister Mara, played by Elizabeth Marvel, I also thought really good. And again, that's another element of the film that worked because it was human. It was, we are exploring what this knowledge means that they're working to share and distribute. So all those elements really worked good. There's also a really interesting scene that I thought was really well handled. Emily Blunt's character, Margaret Fairchild, having a panic attack.
So let's talk about that scene.
Okay. All right. I thought that was really interesting. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah. What did you think?
So that is a scene that I was confused by, and I won't say disappointed, but I was kind of like, I don't really get the point of the scene. And so they're in a train car, and they've just had a major action set piece, and she has a panic attack.
Yeah.
And in this train car, they have a lot of pianos.
Yeah.
Which, and they're like clanging around, and she has a panic attack. He calms her down, and I was like, okay. But I didn't I didn't get what was going on. And most importantly, we haven't talked about this yet. I thought the music in the film was really awesome, score and everything. Not a surprise because who did it? John Williams. I was a little disappointed because I thought, okay, this scene is here. The pianos are specifically here because we're going to hear the notes, the musical sequence from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Just kind of in the background, like hinted while all this clanging is going on, we're going to hear that. And we didn't. So I was like, okay, yeah, I don't get that. So
Yeah.
I didn't really understand.
It didn't really have a lot to do with anything in the rest of the film.
And he calms her down seemingly, and I didn't understand
I got the impression that, the film is couched around the idea of Emily's ability or Margaret's ability is around empathy.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think part of empathy is also feeling and kind of absorbing things going on around you and being a little more heightened to it. It's not often we see two people that are not action heroes characters. They're just normal people.
Normal people.
All of a sudden put in a really, really high stress action sequence.
Correct.
And then normally in movies, what do we see? We see them like stroll off, like, "Ooh, that was crazy, wasn't it?" And like going off to the next adventure. It's like the fact that we actually see her immediately afterwards, like having a panic attack. I'm like, okay, that's real.
So because
that's
of
really
her
good.
superpower thing, she's a little bit
maybe,
more okay.
Maybe
okay.
a little bit of that. It's like that's kind of the trade off. Is like that's a little bit of the side effect of empathy. Is like you do become a little bit more sensitive to so many things.
And you could say, I guess this gives a. So Kellner's kind of superpower is different than hers, but maybe he has a little bit of the empathy thing because he can then calm her down, maybe.
I don't know. I think that also is just commenting that we learned that there's a bit more of a bond between the two of them than what we realized. So I think
which is also hinted at in the scene that I talked about where she has an unusual rescue of him from the bad guys.
I don't understand the pianos other than it's just, well, they had to be in a train car of something. So what could it be? Pianos. That sounds interesting. So.
Well, now I will say, so there's a scene with, it's dark, they're umbrellas, and they're humans and aliens. And that made me think of the scene in Close Encounters kind of towards the end where they're like, you see silhouettes of it.
Yeah.
Train scene in Close Encounters, correct? Not of the same action type, but he's at a crossroads.
He's at a train crossroads, and there isn't actually no train that comes in.
But there's an event that happens there.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe it's an echo of a previous Spielberg film that I haven't seen or I don't remember. But I felt like it was, there were little touches that's kind of like I said, why I expected the Close Encounters key signature thing to happen. But that scene was weird to me.
Yeah.
And I think, there was a lot, and you could say the Eve Hewson girl who almost became a nun thing. Maybe that's part of the script that is helping the pile on feeling. Although you liked that.
I did. It's just, yes, in the grand scheme of things, with everything else that was going on, it was another layer that I'm like, yeah, this is a lot. It's like if we could have reduced some of those other layers that I just felt like were not as necessary and kind of distracted me from the core elements of these films, I would have liked to have just been left with Margaret Fairchild she had an alien experience when she was young, and because of that, she's now been tapped into that she has this enormous a gift of empathy, and she can feel and sense what people are facing and dealing with, and all that. Great. And then Jane is also wrestling with the religious impacts and her spiritual beliefs of what it means to have this now information about the world and all that.
Right.
All that, those are great because they're human. They're like, I feel like we're discovering things with people and we're learning things with people. Again, honestly, I get down to if we just got rid of the little Wii remote, I actually think this could have. But then I realized so many of the action set pieces throughout the film rely on that device. I'm like, okay, if you took that out, are people just going to be bored? Is it just going to be boring watching two people on the run from the government wrestling with their crisis of faith and, learning more about who they are on their way to this Disclosure Day event? Maybe it needed some punching up, and maybe the doodad was the way to do it. Hey, this will give us some cool action set pieces and some cool effects we can show that people will like. I don't know. Overall, I'm fine. It's good. I like it. I don't think it was a misfire completely. I think it was a less than missed opportunity to be a great movie. So,
Okay.
in my mind.
So I've been overall very glowing. I mentioned the piano scene, which was just kind of odd to me.
Yeah.
But you've talked me through it, made me appreciate it a little more. Alan, how we're supposed to think that Margaret and Kellner are the same age? Because that was a little bit of a hang up for me. I mean, I don't know how old Emily Blunt is. I also
Yeah.
don't know how old Josh O'Connor is. I guess in my mind, I'm thinking because I've known Emily Blunt a lot longer,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking she has to be older than Josh O'Connor.
I think
who
she
feel
was
like is-
playing a little younger here. And I think, that's one of the downfalls of bringing in an actress that we're familiar with, that
Right.
we've seen for a lot longer. It's hard for us to buy her as early 30s, where I think Josh O'Connor's character was kind of playing in the range of my idea. So,
So yeah, that was a look because it's important for them to. Well, not, but it was kind of like, wait, she's supposed to be the same age as him because they shared some. Like I was like, huh. So that was
Yeah.
kind of a. Not that it's a problem. I understand it's a movie and they play, but it was just kind of like I don't
Sure.
really
No, I can see
understand.
that.
I don't really understand why maybe she couldn't have been 5 years older than he. Like I don't understand why.
well,
I don't
if
know.
you gone with my idea of how this movie should be played out, you didn't need to have Dr. Kellner with any
Okay. Now,
any connection, spiritual connection with Margaret's character at all, because that added a whole nother level. I'll just say when you get to the Hansel and Gretel house and you get to the animals and you get to it was just, those were all the elements. It was like, oh, okay, this is just kind of piling on, adding mythology
Okay.
to mythology that I felt like
I actually really liked that. And I think one of the reasons I did was you and I talked about this trailer in Trailer Tapas. We said, and we're like, oh, it's a Spielberg. Of course, we're looking forward to it. But I think the thing that you and I both had a little bit of reservations about was the CGI.
Yeah.
And specifically for me, it was the CGI of the animals. And I was like, okay. The way they did the CGI in the movie, but the reasoning behind the animals' appearances and everything, I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
And I
It
liked
made a
kind of
little
what they
more
did.
sense.
And it made a little bit more sense. And I was like, okay, I now bought that. And actually in the trailer as well, I like your term of it. I will use Hansel and Gretel house. You can use Wii Remote. But yeah, the Hansel and Gretel house trailer, I was like, not really looking good for me now. But there again, the animals, the Hansel and Gretel, it all it really worked for me. I'm like, okay, I like that. And actually, I didn't catch this in the trailer, but when I saw it in the film, also works. And now I get it. It was snowing up. I don't know if you caught that instead of snowing down. And I'm like, okay. And then you're like, what? But then I think in the context of everything that's going on, it kind of worked.
Yeah,
and I
all
appreciated
the
it.
visual things I was concerned about in the trailer kind of got resolved for me in the film.
Right.
My issue was just more their inclusion in the story.
I get
it was just extra elements.
Okay.
And if you really think about it, you could honestly strip a lot of those elements out of this movie, and you've still got what I think a better, but a tighter, more focused film that still really works and still delivers the ending that the film is building to. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm standing on this. Is I think it would have worked with some reduction in some of the elements that it felt like it had to put in there to keep people excited and to keep people, our typical movie going public engaged. I don't know, but
My last little, I've been overall, and I'll say those things in the film for me, I think kept me engaged because I was looking for sci-fi nerdiness. And so
Right.
that gave it, if they'd been stripped away, I think it would have been
true. It would have
less of
been
a-
very little sci-fi. I mean, again, it would have been Close Encounters. Close Encounters had very little sci-fi nerdiness
Right.
up until the last 30 minutes of the movie.
Right.
Same idea here. It would have been, yes, it would have been a very routine, people on the run,
Government
talking through
conspiracy,
their
sure.
emotions, talking through their feel. It would have been a lot of that and like government shadowy people talking and plotting. And yeah, I could see where some people may find that less engaging and less exciting and all that. But that's what I felt like from my mind.
Gotcha.
This movie needed to be. So anyway, yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
Were we good?
yeah.
Are you-
I felt, last thing I'll say is just really odd for him to start I liked how the
Yeah.
film started in that you kind of jump right in and it's an action scene and like you're
Yeah.
trying to figure out what's going on and you see Kelder and he's trying to do something. I like that. They didn't explain a lot right off the bat. It was like, nope, this is happening.
I loved the exploration of it in
But
the first
it was
half
really
hour.
jarring to me that it was basically like, what do you call those kind of, I'm blanking on the kind of camera that you, people use them for extreme sports and
Like a GoPro. type
GoPro,
of-
yes.
Yeah.
It was very jarring for me that it was a GoPro at seemingly like a WWE or MMA fight or whatever. And I was like, whoa, that just very.
No, it was a shocking opening to the point where, Chris, I have to queue up these movies at the theater in advance and test them and make sure they'll play.
Sure.
When I queued this up and started playing, I'm like, they sent me the wrong movie. I'm like, what is this movie? Like, this is not the right movie.
Right.
And it took a few minutes to get in to see, oh, no, this is
No,
it.
I
It's
see
just a
Josh O'Connor there, so,
a
yeah.
very unique opening to first several shots of the film. Yeah,
so
for
he,
sure.
Spielberg still got surprises. So
He does.
That's
He
good.
does. No, it's good. It's good. I would tell people have already asked me this weekend, how was it? I'm like, it was good. I just felt like it lost sight of what it could have really been. So, yeah.
I liked it. I wonder, as we get down the road, months later from this film, if it worked for me, but I wonder if it's too like messagey for people and that will distance
Maybe.
them from maybe liking it because they're just like, I just wanted an action film or I just wanted an alien film. I didn't want to.
Well, I will tell you, the crowd I watched the film with, not a fan of the ending as a crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I loved it, but yeah, not
Like, Saj, like, oh, like kind of, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
So it was, I think this one's going to have a hard time. I think it will probably gain in its reputation over time with true Spielberg fans
okay.
and
Yeah,
people,
I think Spielberg fans
but-
will probably like.
but I think the general public is really going to just kind of wash over this one and not think much about it after the first week or two.
Got you.
That's what I'm predicting anyway.
Okay.
All right. Well, that is Disclosure Day. That was our thoughts on the latest Steven Spielberg story and directed film. It is playing in theaters. We'll still be playing in theaters for a little while. So, but it's getting to be a crowded summer, so it had to kind of get out there early in the first part of the summer and try to stake its ground and see how it does for the next couple weeks. So, all right, Chris, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got 3 trailers to watch and discuss about films coming up soon. And then we'll get to Chris's recommendation of the episode as well. So stay tuned. You're listening to Foot Candle Films, and we'll be right back.
Want to discover great podcasts or maybe even start one of your own? Welcome to The Mesh, Western North Carolina's podcast network built for creators and listeners alike. From local sports and business to comedy and culture, The Mesh is home to unique voices and fresh perspectives. Do you have something you want to say? The Mesh can help you bring your podcast to life with the tools, support, and platform you need to be heard. Check us out at themesh.tv, where great podcasts live and new ones are born.
Welcome back to Foot Candle Films here on the Mesh.tv podcast network. Chris and I are still discussing Disclosure Day.
Which
I
is a
think
mark of a film that's at least,
it's definitely discussion worthy.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's all good. So let's move on though, Chris. Let's move away from Disclosure Day. Let's talk about some films that we haven't seen yet, but we're now going to be tempted with little morsels. We call them our trailer tapas. Little blurbs about these films, little bits that we can watch and see what we think about these films before they actually hit the multiplex here in the coming months. So I've got 3 of them to share with you. I think I've seen 2 of these trailers already, and I've not seen one of them.
Okay.
So I don't know where you are with these, if you've seen them or not, but let's get up to the first one I want to talk about.
Okay.
We have talked about this film in the news section of our show before, but this is our first viewing of anything from the film, and it is The Social Reckoning. As you might be able to imagine, it is, yes, a sequel, follow-up. A sequel may be a strong word. It's a follow-up to The Social Network. The Social Network was written by
Sorkin.
Aaron Sorkin, but it was directed by David Fincher back in 2010, winning Oscars. It was a big movie. This is now The Social Reckoning, the follow-up to that film, written and directed by Aaron Sorkin, which kind of a little hit or miss. Aaron Sorkin as a director. I think he's an excellent writer. Directing work, it's been a little hit or miss. I know he did Jessica Chastain, Molly's Game, which I did like. I know he did the Chicago 7 film.
Yes. Are those the only two directorial
No, he
films?
also did the one about Lucille and Ricky, Lucille Ball, Meet the Ricardos.
Okay. I saw that film, but didn't
I'm pretty
remember
sure he
was the one who
directed that
directed
one
it.
as well.
Okay. Interesting.
Which are all fine films, but they're not, I don't think any of them turned out great. I don't know. But I mean, he's definitely known as a writer of this work. So he's coming back, writer and director for this. This film is going to tell the true story of former Facebook engineer Frances Haugen, played by Mikey Madison from Anora, that we would know, best actress winner from a couple years ago. And the Wall Street Journal reporter Jeff Horowitz, played by Jeremy Allen White from The Bear and Jabba the Hutt's son, as you may know him. Yes. Rada.
Yes.
And his reporting exposed the company's internal research and decision making, and the work culminated in The Facebook Files, a 2021 investigative series revealing Facebook's harmful effects on teens and its role in spreading misinformation. So we have a trailer here. I'd like for us to watch this trailer. Have you seen this trailer?
I have seen it.
Okay.
I've only seen it once.
That's fine.
But,
Well, we will all watch it together. And I have a question for you I want to ask after the trailer is over. So please pay attention, especially in
So
the
you
first...
have also seen it?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
But please pay attention in the first couple moments and first couple lines of dialogue in the film. I have questions.
Oh, okay.
So I'm asking you to pay very specific attention to just the first couple lines of dialogue for this film. All right, here we go. Let's watch the trailer for The Social Reckoning.
Listen, before I go on, I want to make something clear.
Okay.
I have a hunch you're not a fan of Facebook. But I am. I am here to help Facebook, not hurt it, okay?
You sent me a message. What would you like to talk about?
The chairman gavels the session to order. You'll read your opening statement, which we'll skip past for now, that's a separate session, and we'll move to witness questioning.
Spell your name and state your current occupation for the record.
MARKZUCKERBERG.
And your occupation?
I'm a professional defendant.
I ran classifiers on political groups where 30% of content hits multiple risk factors.
Hang on, I don't understand what you're saying.
Aren't you a tech reporter?
Ish.
Ish?
These guys are counting on the next round of congressional testimony to make you likable, Mark. I'm happy to lend a hand, but I think you're doomed.
Yes.
Okay.
So your question for the little bit of dialogue there.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'll say this.
Or statement. I guess.
There's been a lot of chatter from people.
On Facebook?
Yeah, from Facebook. Sure. No, and actually from me as well, because I remember watching this trailer the first time. And honestly, I think they've cleaned it up. Mikey Madison's first couple lines of dialogue. First time I saw it, I did not understand a word she was saying. And I thought it was something with me. I'm like, okay, what am I missing here? Because I even played the trailer back a couple times. I'm like, I don't know what this first line of dialogue is. And I went online, and yes, tons of people saying the same thing. It's like trying to decipher what her first line of dialogue was. I understood it better now, but I also knew what it was because I'd read about it, and people had kind of deciphered it and all that. So I don't know if there was some re-editing they did and reposting edit to the trailer, but I'm not alone. I thought I was crazy for a little while. That was just me not understanding English language. But no, I was not alone. There's like a whole community of people watching this trailer when it first came out, like the first day or two. Like, I don't understand what her first line of dialogue is. It's the whole, I get the hunch you're not a fan of Facebook.
Right.
Again.
I want to make something clear. I'm here to help. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay. This is only the second time I've seen it. And I I may not have seen the earlier version that you're referring to.
Yeah,
That's
I'm just
probably
saying.
now been wiped off the internet. No,
Maybe because again, I thought I was crazy. Just I couldn't understand human language. I went online. I'm like, oh no, this is actually a thing. Everybody is like talking
It was
about.
the reverse Josh O'Connor in Disclosure Day. You couldn't understand English language.
Exactly. Somehow I had been affected by aliens where now I do not understand
understand
English
English.
language, even though I've been speaking it for 50 plus years. Yeah. So anyway, outside of that's more of a technical foible thing, whatever. Outside of that, what did you think of the trailer for The Social Reckoning?
Micah Moore? Michael, what's her name? Micah. What's the girl who?
Oh, Mikey.
Nora. Micah. Okay, that's
Mikey.
Mikey Madison. Yeah,
Mikey
yeah.
Madison.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am so excited to see her in another film. She won the Academy Award Best Actress for Nora. I liked that film, and not that I thought she did a bad job, but I guess she was playing this just really loud character that for me, for the most part, was one note. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm looking forward to seeing her in something else because I kind of need to see her like, okay, and this is it. Because I'm like, okay, talk about somebody completely different, very different type of character, like complete
agreed.
180 turn. I'm like, oh, wow. And just the things she's saying. And it helps. I think I may have recommended it on the show couple of years ago, probably, maybe not, but it's probably still on Netflix if people want to watch it. The Social Dilemma, which is a documentary that basically is what this is all going to be about, I'm assuming, because it interviews her, the person that comes forward on Facebook is like, I don't like a lot of stuff that's going on. I just want people to know about it. And you heard the trailer, you know what it's about. I think it'll be very interesting, but I think it'll be very polarizing because like The Social Network, I love the film, but I've also always kind of not been a fan of Facebook. So for me, it was kind of like, of course you like that movie. You don't like Facebook. And this one, it's like, I don't really feel like it's going to tell people anything they don't already know now. So then one would ask, well, what's the point in making this? But maybe just so you reach some people that maybe a documentary wouldn't reach, or you just make people realize. And not having Eisenberg come back, I remember I was like, interesting. But having Jeremy Strong. Yeah, Jeremy Strong. Having him come in and be Mark Zuckerberg, I'm like, nope, just seeing him in the trailer totally works. Mannerisms, everything. I'm like, yeah, it's a genius way of having him like be a different person, but it still works. Because
I have no problem with the recasting or changing the casting. It's fine. And I really like Jeremy Strong as an actor. Okay. I think he's probably going to nail it performance-wise. But I got to harken back to your Disclosure Day question about the age of actors. I'm struggling with Jeremy Strong's age playing Zuckerberg because we see Zuckerberg in real life. I know how Zuckerberg looks and how what age he looks to be. And I'm sorry, but it's not there. So he's going to have to, unfortunately, I think for some people, he's going to have to outperform that perception. Okay. And I think of anybody who could do it, he probably can. So I think it's going to be interesting to see the performance overall.
Jeremy Allen White as like a reporter and like that, I think that is going to play to his strengths. Kind of like ask questions, kind of variance impasse or whatever, and can get maybe angry or forceful at some point. We talk about favorite scenes once we've seen the film. A favorite scene for me, just out of the trailer, was where Billy Magnuson, I think, is saying we're post-government or whatever he said. And he's like, please let me quote you on that. Because it's like,
it was good.
Yeah, it was just, that's a clever scene, but it kind of talks about, the power and the mechanics of corporations going on. I'm like, wow. Yeah. So I would be surprised if I don't like the film.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of like,
No, it's got all the right elements in place. It looks good. I think the key is going to be for this film. It's not necessarily that people, you want to learn the dangers of Facebook. You're right. That people know it. If they believe that, they're already bought into it. And if they're turning a blind eye to it, they're going to keep turning a blind eye to it. I think it's more the drama behind the scenes of just what exactly was transpiring that we don't all know about. So
Right.
anyway. All right. And just before we move on to the next one, just
Yes,
to make sure I'm clearing the air, because I don't want people listening to this podcast
What
being
does
like,
Aaron Sorkin have against Facebook? That's what I want to know.
oh, yeah. It sounds like he's got a lot.
Did
so.
something like
He has spent
was
a
he
considerable amount of
was he-
time
Was
blaming
was
it.
Zuckerberg? Was he Harvard? He was Harvard, right? Or Harvard
think
or
so,
Yale.
yeah.
Okay, so did Sorkin go to Harvard, or maybe he didn't get a date on Facebook? He's like, okay,
There's like some
because it's just like wow.
pent up contempt.
Yeah.
All right. Well, just
Okay.
to make sure people don't assume Alan's losing it, Alan's having issues understanding people. The Hollywood Reporter,
Okay.
one of their big lead articles was when this trailer came out. They said, opening in what looks like Middle Earth, Mikey Madison's Facebook whistleblower tells Jeremy Allen White's reporter, I want to make something clear, and then proceeds to deliver a nearly incomprehensible sentence and like tries to decipher the sentence that the internet has been having fun with and links to all these places where people are talking about it. So it's not just me. It was not just me.
So then they
I
made
did-
the trailer disappear.
I think they edited the trailer differently because now I listen to it and I'm like, oh yeah, I got what she said this time. But
Do you think
man,
maybe
we
it
did
was
not.
like a glitch where like the audio was actually sped up or something?
I don't know.
Huh.
I really don't. But anyway, now we have a new controversy. Somebody's trying to hide something from us, Chris, and I
There you
think
go.
we need Steven Spielberg and we need Aaron Sorkin to work together to kind of help us discover
Totally.
what's being hidden from us here and how do we disclose this information. Okay.
Fair enough.
All right. That was the trailer for The Social Reckoning. That is coming out
Surely near Oscar season. August,
October
September.
9th.
October, yeah.
October
okay.
9th.
Fair
Yep,
enough.
Sony will be releasing it October 9th.
Okay.
Okay. Let's move on to a second trailer. This is a trailer that, Chris, I've only watched because I was about to program it and putting it in front of some movies at the theater.
Okay.
And it was sent to me, and I had the option of putting it, attaching it to some movies to play before a movie. I'm like, oh, this will be cool. I want to see this movie anyway. Kind of curious about it. It's called Whalefall. And I will tell you though, and I because I test everything before I put it on display for the general public, watching this movie, I got so stressed out watching this trailer that I'm like, nah, you know what? I don't think I'm going to put this in front of like the movies I'd plan to put it on. I'll wait until later.
So this
to
is
add it.
not going to be before Toy Story 5.
No. Whalefall is the story of a true story.
Oh, I didn't know it was based
Yes,
on
it's a true story. Hold on. I don't have the right information in front of me.
I know it was based off a novel, but maybe it was like a true or not a novel, but I know it's based off a book. So I didn't know it was based off a true story.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Wow.
I pulled up the wrong article. I had an article about it that when the trailer came out, but it's not giving me the information I'm looking for, the background of the film. I want to just verify that it is a true story.
Okay.
Because that's my understanding when I first heard about it, but we will see.
Okay.
Whalefall, an American survival thriller film directed and produced by Brian Duffield, based on a 2023 novel.
Yeah, my understanding it was a novel. so
Okay,
not a true
never
story.
mind then. Not a
Okay.
true story.
Okay. Because because I would be surprised if it was, but stranger things have happened.
Well, now I'm disappointed.
Oh no!
Because I thought it was
a good movie.
but it's a story about a scuba diver who, searching for the remains of his father, gets swallowed alive by a whale and attempts to escape. That's the movie. So yes, I am disappointed that it's not based on a true story, because now I'm going to be questioning, can this really happen? At least if it was based on a true story, my answer would be yes, because it did happen. And now I don't know if it happened or not, or could have happened. Anyway, regardless, we'll watch the trailer on its own merits.
Okay.
We do have the lead actor here that we're going to see, Austin Abrams, playing the scuba diver, and his father that he is looking for the remains of is played by Josh Brolin, obviously in some flashback scenes and all and things, because if he's looking for his father's remains, you would assume that
his father is
not
no
gonna
more
be there later on.
Correct.
Anyway. All right, so let's watch the trailer for this and see what we think about the trailer for Whalefall. Here we go.
I can teach you things. I will give you all the tools. You can be whatever you want. anything you want. When it matters, and you know what to do.
So that was the trailer for Whalefall.
It looks like it could be the first 2.5 minutes of the movie. I mean, maybe there's a little bit, but normally trailers tend to be a lot of different scenes put together. But this looks pretty much like a.
And I know for people just here, obviously hearing the sound only, basically Austin Abrams is being swallowed by a whale.
Yes,
I mean that's basically what you were hearing there. Fighting against and then eventually being swallowed by a whale. What'd you think as a trailer, or do you have any interest in seeing this now after seeing the trailer, or not?
I am interested because it just seems like an interesting concept. Okay, guy gets swallowed by a whale. Okay, then what's going to happen for the remaining? Especially, they've shown us this. So I'm assuming this does not happen halfway through the film.
I guess
this happens kind of towards the beginning.
Right.
So I'm just interested in could be, a survival story. A tale of human resilience. I don't know. It has there's potential there. And Josh Brolin, I like him. I don't know how much he's in the movie. But yeah, I'm kind of curious what happens to it. So I'm interested in it. And I am kind of shocked that they did show that entire sequence, because it seems like something they would kind of allude to.
That would be a big draw for the film, I would think, to see that. So I agree. A little surprised by it. It's pretty intense seeing the way they shot it and put it together.
And seeing that on the big screen with sound and everything. Yeah, it'd be
that's the problem. Is I had the volume up at a good theater level, and it was very intense.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, that is Whalefall. That movie is coming out. Hold tight. I will let you know.
And also,
I feel bad I had the wrong article pulled up on this thing. October 16th.
Okay, if it was just going to be an action movie, I'd probably be like, okay. But the fact that gives me faith, I mentioned before, based on a novel. So I'm like, okay, something substantial, not to be a short story, but to be a novel. Okay.
There's got to be something more to it. So, no, I'm still interested in seeing it, still looking forward to it, but just, we'll see. I really thought it was a true story.
Well, maybe it is. Maybe a novel based on a true story.
No, I doubt it. They would have said that probably somewhere. Not. Okay, well, that was my own. I guess my thinking was, they're going to make a movie about a guy getting swallowed by a whale. Obviously, it's a true story because, you got to be able to buy into the idea that this could happen.
This could actually happen. Right.
Okay, let's move on to our third and final trailer. This is one I have not seen yet, but just curious.
Okay.
And I'm only curious about it because it is the newest film starring a Mr. Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt's kind of in that stage in his career where he's kind of doing the high-profile projects. I mean, he doesn't really dabble in a lot of just random projects. It seems like it's very intentional, the ones he's involved in.
And this isn't the David Fincher sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
No, it's not, which is coming out later this year.
And that's just on Apple. Is it Apple TV? No. Or is it?
Oh, what is it? Or is it Netflix?
It may be.
I think it's Netflix. I think Netflix.
But streaming. Yeah, but maybe has a theatrical run. Okay.
Right. So this one, I think, is coming out before then.
Okay.
This comes out September 25th, and I think the what's his name? I want to say Cliff Booth, but that's the guy from Cheers, isn't it? No, it's Cliff Booth.
I think so. Now you got
Cliff Booth sounds like a guy from Cheers. It's like that's Cliff Clavin.
Yeah.
No.
I think it is.
Is it Cliff Booth?
I think so.
Hold on. We're gonna.
It's like his adventures pre Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or post. I can't remember where the story supposedly takes place.
Adventures of Cliff Booth. Okay. All right, we're right. Okay, all right, good deal. Okay. Anyway, before that movie comes out, which I think that's coming out at the end of the year.
Okay.
I think that is more of that's like November, December kind of release. But before that, we're going to have a film called Heart of the Beast, starring Brad Pitt. It is a survivor thriller film. So coming right for Wellfall. Maybe there's a little connection there. Brad Pitt plays James Belmont, a former Army Special Forces soldier who must find a way to return to civilization after his small plane crashes deep in the Alaskan wilderness. Joined by a retired service dog named Odin, who protects him from bears, wolves, and other beasts.
Is this based on a true story?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Okay. Sounds like it
no.
could be. No.
It doesn't say anything about it. So
Fair
I'm
enough.
assuming no. It's directed by David Ayer, who, if you recall, David Ayer and Brad Pitt were in did the film together, Fury.
Yes, which I liked.
2014.
Yeah.
David Ayer also did the first version of the Suicide Squad movie.
He did.
Yeah, not a big fan of that. There's a couple other films David Ayer's done
Okay.
over that time. Anyway,
Those are the two that I'm most familiar with.
so anyway, this is what we've got coming up, and this is going to be released September 25th, Heart of the Beast. Let's check out the trailer. I have not seen this yet, so this will be new for both of us. So here we go. Let's watch it and see what we think.
Put her there, pal. Damn, you're handsome. It's okay. Come on. Just a bad dream. We're not there anymore.
You are the first person I've ever seen this far out. What kind of line of work are you in, James?
Army Special Forces retired.
Hey, did I notice some silver in your dog's mouth?
Odin was a combat scouting dog. Target hit him in the mouth with a brick.
Same asshole get his leg?
Yeah.
I hope you gave that fella a piece of your mind.
I shot him in the head.
He shot him in the head.
All right, that was the trailer for Heart of the Beast, coming out September. Brad Pitt, Odin the dog. Chris, thoughts?
You know, it seems like it's a movie targeted for a specific audience. That said, if Odin doesn't make it to the end of the film, they're going to burn theaters down.
Yes.
So, but yeah, what's the name of that? Castaway, but with a dog.
Well, it's Castaway, The Revenant.
Yeah.
The Revenant, and all kind of mixed in together.
So Survivor
with a
Story,
dog,
which we've seen a lot before, but this time, guy with a dog.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Can I just say I'm curious on this one.
Okay.
I mean, it could be a really good adventure, thriller, survival story. I'm just happy to see that the dog appears to be real in most of the shots I noticed.
Looks that way.
Because there have been films in the last decade or so where there's a dog as a main character, and because they needed the dog to do so many different things, it becomes an animated thing, or part of, and I'm just happy to see that this did appear to be a real
I'm sure
dog.
there are some instances where,
sure,
because of potential danger to
some of the
dog,
action sequences and all, and that's fine. I
Right.
don't mind it as a supplemental tool for that.
Got
but
you.
I think that just I was
You
kind of just happy
wanted
to see
Brad
that.
Pitt to be acting for the most part with a physical dog as
Yes.
opposed to a blob, a green screen blob. or
Exactly.
something. Yeah.
Which this film does appear to be doing. So that's good. And look, I like Brad Pitt. I'm bored to check out anything he works on. So we'll see. I don't know. Could be okay.
Yeah. J.K. Simmons has a small cameo, looks like.
I like J.K. Simmons.
There you go.
So, all right, we'll see what happens with this. Heart of the Beast coming out in September. So, yeah.
You know what it's actually going to be for me, Alan? I'm curious. The character arc for Brad Pitt's character.
Mm-hmm.
They're setting him up one way. I want him to develop over the film. And I think that's going to be the challenge for me is like, does he grow? Does anything happen? Or is it pretty much, do you understand?
Yeah. No, I understand.
So I think that'll be the challenge for me.
Yeah.
Or is it more of just the thriller and there's not really some character growth there?
Yeah. If it's just okay, we're following this guy and his dog, and at some points he's going to be hurt or lost, and dog has to go find him. Then in return, dog gets lost or hurt. He has to go find the dog. And at the end, they're all survive together. It's like, yeah, that's not a very interesting movie. If there's something more going on with this character, I think that would be interesting to see.
Sure.
Something else for the Heart of the Beast title to kind of speak to.
Yeah.
Would be good. All right. So we'll see if that comes true or if we are just looking at a pure action survivor thriller movie. So, okay, Chris, have arrived at the end of the show. We have done 3 trailers in our trailer topics section. We did our review of Disclosure Day. Now we turn it over to you to wrap us up and take us home here with a recommendation of your own, a film you think is worth our time checking out if we were so inclined to look for something to add to our watch queue here in the coming week or weekend. What do you recommend we ought to check out?
So I'm going to recommend a film that came to theaters, I think, relatively briefly. We actually talked about it in a trailer tapas section, I believe, on the show. But it's now available to rent at places like Apple TV. You can probably do it at Amazon. I actually rented it from, because I wanted to try it out, the video store on Letterboxd. I popped up as an option there. I was like, oh, didn't know this thing was available to rent. It is Exit 8. It is by Genki Kawamura. And it is a man trapped in an endless, sterile subway passageway sets out to find Exit 8. The rules of his quest are simple. Do not overlook anything out of the ordinary. If you discover an anomaly, turn back immediately. If you don't, carry on. Then leave from Exit 8. But even a single oversight will send him back to the beginning. Will he reach his goal and escape this infinite corridor? So, sounds in some ways, I guess, similar like liminal spaces, kind of might remind people of Backrooms that we reviewed on the show. I was curious about this film. We'd seen the trailer. And I was curious, especially after seeing Backrooms, how is this going to work for me? Am I going to feel like I wish these would have been spaced out more? No, obviously, recommending it. It worked for me. I think for folks that found Backrooms interesting, but maybe frustratingly light on kind of an overall plot or a little bit more of a theme going through it, I think they will be more satisfied with Exit 8. I like the film a good bit. It did kind of have a little bit more going on than just like a experiment of what happens if you keep replaying the thing over and over again. Sure. I think it is discussion worthy because you could agree, disagree, interpret certain things differently, possibly. But yeah, Exit 8, I recommend people check it out, especially if you're fans of, it's different from Backrooms, but the whole idea of like weird spaces and wondering what's happening. Yeah.
You really, really liked Backrooms.
I did.
So is this kind of, I know they're different films, but the little thread of similarity between them. Did you like this more or less than Backrooms, or is it just so completely different? It's kind of hard to compare them.
It has a similar idea, but completely different. I don't know. I would have to probably see Backrooms again to see if I liked it more or less. I think it's on equal footing with Backrooms, which speaking as a big fan of Backrooms, that's good.
That's good.
I don't know if maybe giving you a little bit more of like, in a way, kind of what's going on, if that kind of ruins the whole mystery, like Backrooms, they kind of, similar complaints there. So,
yeah,
I don't know, but it's definitely, if you like Backrooms, I think you'd like this, or if just the concept sounds
great,
interesting. And it is based on a video game, which I'm not familiar with, but
is it? It is based on something based on a video game, but not on a true story.
That'd be amazing if it was based on a true story.
Right.
Based on a video game, but I have not played it, but from what I understand, based on a video game.
All right. Exit 8 is Chris's recommendation for this week. Thank you, Chris, for that. I encourage people to add it to your watch queue, especially it sounds like if you're into the kind of films like a Backrooms type of thing where it's just...
And this
some mystery, some visual space appeal of.
And this is, I think, it is labeled as kind of a horror film, but I think kind of like Backrooms, it's more of like psychological thriller type thing. So yes, there's some disturbing imagery, but it's something. And actually, I think it's rated PG-13. So yeah, it's got some weird kind of freaky looking stuff in it, but it's more like what's going on as opposed to like jump scare type thing.
Cool. So. Good deal. All right. Well, that wraps us up for today. Disclosure Day review, trailers for Heart of the Beast, The Social Reckoning, and Whale Fall, and then Chris's recommendation of Exit 8. So, Chris, anybody that wants to chime in, have a discussion with us, what can they do?
You can contact us by sending an email to info@footcandle.org. Leave us a voicemail at the mesh.tv website, where you can also check out past Foot Candle Film episodes, as well as other podcasts on various subjects from barbecue to comedy to mental health. We're also on Facebook at Foot Candle Film Society and other social platforms as just Foot Candle Film. Individually, we are on Letterboxd, where you can give us a follow there or possibly rent Exudate if you're interested. Do us a favor, if you like the show, consider leaving us a review on whatever platform you receive your favorite podcasts on, because it'll help us reach new listeners, and we'd appreciate that. By the way, guys, 2026 Foot Candle Film Festival coming up September 18th through the 27th. Probably in a couple of weeks, we will be releasing the lineup for that, so check it out. We'd love to have you come visit us in September for the festival.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening to Foot Candle Films here on the Mesh.tv podcast network. We'll look forward to talking to you next time. Take care.
See you in the ticket line.
Watch films in the company of like-minded people in the dark. Watch films in the underground. We won't let anyone know where you are. The films that don't make it to Carmike at the mall, or ones that were famous when Grandpa would watch films out of the reverence of the heritage of an art. Watch films through the courtesy of Foot Candle Film Society.
Special thanks to Carpal Tuller for the show theme music. For more about Carpal Tuller, visit www.carpaltuller.com. You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.